Let's start with Alpha, the first section of this issue, which highlights the Justice League's actions following the events of Absolute Power before transitioning into Omega, the second half of this issue, which is narrated by Darkseid. Alpha brilliantly captures the grand scale and excitement that DC aims to bring moving forward. A key element of this is the reformation of the Justice League and the upcoming release of the Justice League Unlimited series. Alpha serves as an introduction, a fresh beginning and an opportunity for renewal. After providing a quick recap of previous events, the focus shifts to establishing a new normal and determining the members of the reformed team. The conflict with Amanda Waller, depicted in Absolute Power, has concluded, and after everything they've endured, the heroes realize their mistake in disbanding the Justice League. They now know that simply regrouping isn't enough. A true alliance is necessary given what they've been through, with the understanding that more significant challenges lie ahead. The Justice League Unlimited represents that deeper connection. Before we continue, don't forget to recommend my video and click the subscribe button to stay updated with more comic book content like this and help support small content creators like me. In a series of scenes narrated by Superman, we see that the Justice League is prepared to rebuild, but this time with some important adjustments. The League will now include every significant hero who has proven themselves. A new watchtower will serve as a central hub and home base for all League members. Oracle will be handling communications while Question will be overseeing security, and a sleek new ID card issued to all those invited to join. The cards are imbued with technology, power, and magic, offering yet-to-be-determined benefits for those who carry them. The story then shifts focus to Booster Gold, who becomes the central character of the first half of this issue. Superman meets with Booster to admit that the Justice League hasn't always been fully accepting of him, as Booster has experienced some ups and downs over the years. However, Superman also acknowledges that Booster has matured in positive ways. Booster states he's been feeling lost recently and contemplates returning to his original time period when Superman presents him with a JLU card. Booster eagerly accepts, recognizing the card as a significant historical artifact he's seen in future museum exhibits. Make a mental note of the top panel showing his ring and current emblem. You'll understand why as we go through this story. Later on, Booster attends an orientation at the new watchtower, learning about the incredible systems that will support this new phase of the JLU. Why Booster Gold was chosen as the key character will soon be revealed, and I appreciate that he's finally being given a challenge far beyond anything he's faced before. The League is holding its first official meeting at the newly upgraded watchtower. Suddenly, alarms go off during the orientation. Skeets, after analyzing the timeline, points out that this is not how events were supposed to unfold. We see panels depicting what seems like Darkseid telepathically communicating with, and perhaps controlling, some of the superheroes. Next, we witness Darkseid's Omega beams being unleashed through several Justice League members. The Justice League's celebration has been disrupted by a dark, mystical force that goes beyond just Darkseid. There's something unusual about him, something supernatural. Darkseid, missing a hand and fused with Spectre, steps out from a rift in space and time. He forcefully announces, "It is done," but then questions, "What was the surge I felt?" It's unclear who he's addressing. As mentioned earlier, this interference distorts the timeline, as these events are not how they originally transpired according to Skeets. Booster Gold and Skeets, along with the rest of the League, are caught off guard. The group of heroes immediately spring into action against Darkseid, but are easily overwhelmed as he releases a massive energy blast, declaring that he is final. Diana tries to use her lasso on him, but Darkseid dismisses it, stating that he doesn't fear it as men do. He claims to have discovered the truth, and says it's glorious. The magic users understand that their only hope is to separate Darkseid from Spectre, so they cast a spell on the one capable of holding such immense power and facing Darkseid, and that's Superman. Superman attacks with the assistance of the League's magic users. It appears as if Darkseid is destroyed. He, unexpectedly, thanks them and accepts his end. Darkseid's disappearance has left a visible tear in time and space, which Flash notes he has encountered before. This tear seems to be what we can interpret as a doorway. But a doorway to where? When asked about Darkseid's attack, Orion, Darkseid's son, mentions that there's been no sign of him since. However, Orion emphasizes that because Darkseid is a constant force, all of creation needs him. If he's truly gone, the universe will inevitably create a new one. Separating Spectre from Darkseid destroyed Darkseid and caused a rupture in reality, giving birth to a new aspect of the multiverse, an area created from Darkseid's energy. This is the Elseworld, also known as the Alpha World. Mr. Terrific speculates that this doorway they're looking at, more than likely, leads to the Alpha World, a realm discovered after the universe's rebirth during the conclusion of Dark Knight's death metal. This Elseworld emits the same energy as Darkseid and has a disjointed, unstable flow of time. Make a mental note of this panel featuring the Trinity, where Diana asks Superman if they are going to the Alpha World. Mr. Terrific concludes that only someone saturated with tachyon particles can safely enter that world. Therefore, the best candidates for this mission are Booster Gold and Skeets. Their task is to explore where the door leads and, if possible, locate Darkseid. Booster volunteers for a quick 10-minute trip to gather data and return via a tether Mr. Terrific designed for Skeets. Naturally, the recon mission doesn't go as planned. While the good news is that Booster finds Darkseid, the bad news is that during transit, he lost Skeets, and without Skeets, he has no way to return. As Booster regains his bearings, we see him in a hostile environment that resembles a twisted, apocalypse-like version of Metropolis. While attempting to reconnect with Skeets, Omega beams land dangerously close to him. Strangely, one of the panels seems to depict a disruption in the timeline, as we again see Diana asking Superman if they're going to Alpha World. Something has clearly gone awry with time itself. In the following panel, we're shown Booster Gold's new Omega ring. Booster is overwhelmed with fear as Darkseid appears. Upon noticing Booster's ring, he declares that he finally has his army. The final panel of the Alpha issue reveals Darkseid's newly formed Dark Legion. The second half of the issue, titled Omega, opens with Darkseid reflecting on a discovery. When the multiverse was severed during the events of Absolute Power, he felt a surge of energy unlike anything he had ever experienced. Driven by his curiosity, Darkseid orders the construction of a wish machine known as the Miracle Machine. It is made from Element X and designed by Hyman, the creator of the Mother Box. This machine is bound to Darkseid by blood, making it operable only for him. To power it, he sacrifices his hand. While his blood initiates the machine's activation, it isn't enough to keep it running. So he sacrifices his son Kalibak. In his quest to find the Spectre, Darkseid descends into Hell. There, Blaze, the demonic daughter of the Great Wizard, offers him endless torment for his enemies. But he dismisses the offer, focused solely on locating the Spectre. Blaze informs him that the Spectre is not in Hell and questions why Darkseid is pursuing this path. He promptly teleports to Heaven. In Heaven, he encounters Zoriel, an angel of the Eagle Host, one of Heaven's 4 celestial hosts. Once again, Darkseid is offered a chance to abandon his mission, his search for Spectre, but he refuses and booms away to the dark side of the moon. There, he finds Eclipso awaiting his arrival, playing some sort of chess game. Eclipso effortlessly repels Darkseid's assault, declaring that in this realm, his power surpasses Darkseid's. Eclipso remarks that Darkseid's crusade seems driven by his brief glimpse of the truth about himself, but Darkseid seeks to know the full truth. Eclipso claims Darkseid will never fully comprehend the truth, as Darkseid will be his slave, but Darkseid disagrees, revealing that he set a timer on the boom tube, which will soon reduce Eclipso to dust. The boom tube detonates, obliterating Eclipso, and Darkseid coolly says, "Checkmate." He then tracks down Jim Corrigan, the host of the Spectre. But before Darkseid can reach Jim, we witness a group of powerful beings intent on stopping him. Why? They understand that Darkseid serves as the cosmic counterbalance to hope and life. He exists because reality demands his presence. However, thanks to the power of his miracle machine, they are powerless to prevent him from merging with the Spectre, even though the Spectre resists. Despite this resistance, the Spectre eventually bonds with Darkseid. Now bonded with Darkseid, Spectre brings his host to the heroes, the very ones the Spectre believes can intervene, which also serves to connect this second story with the first Alpha narrative. The Spectre explains to Darkseid that the surge he felt was due to the multiverse being severed, with fragments of the Darkseids from every universe rushing back to him. Darkseid has been weakened recently because last year's DC events collapsed the Omniverse into a simple multiverse, meaning his weakness is a side effect of the multiverse correcting itself. The Spectre tries to persuade Darkseid that he is indeed a crucial figure, an indispensable force in the universe, but Darkseid demands more. Darkseid tells us readers that while he is here, fighting the superheroes, he is also not here. He explains that he is witnessing every battle he has ever fought, every fight he is currently fighting, and every fight he will ever engage in. He acknowledges that what the Spectre has been saying is true, that he is essentially a god. During Darkseid's battle with Superman, we can see the Spectre's influence as he continues attempting to divert Darkseid from his destructive path. But the effort fails as Darkseid falls to the combined power of Superman and the Spectre is torn from him. As Darkseid dies, he prepares to return once more, ready to reshape the world in his own image. The world he envisions is one without hope, as expressed in this panel of Diana. A world without any advantages, represented by what appears to be Batman. A world where hope is the underdog, the adversary, the force to be conquered. Yet still, it is a world where hope must burn brighter than ever before just to survive. This is Darkseid's universe, existing outside of time and space, a realm he believes will allow him to become everything he was destined to be, with the ultimate goal of returning to other worlds to destroy them. Next, we see a replay of Booster's landing and his encounter with Darkseid, similar to what we saw in the first part of this issue. Notice that his ring is now embossed with the Omega symbol. And finally, once again, a panel reveals Darkseid's new legion preparing to confront Booster. Now we understand that DC All-In has to operate on multiple levels, moving the larger narrative forward from absolute power into a new era, while simultaneously laying the groundwork for an entirely new Earth. And it seems to have done so within the span of this one oversized issue.